a swastika isn't ambiguous. It's not an ambiguous statement, is it?
No. And the Met have form on this. You probably remember when the Met made excuses for the word jihad, which was being used in a violent context by an Islamist extremist group called Hizb ut-Tahrir. And this group was later proscribed as a terrorist organisation in January this year. I mean, that was bad enough. But I just kept thinking, this is completely mad. Why is this police officer not at least showing an interest? Even if he didn't agree with the incident, he just didn't care. It just looked like he didn't care, I should say. But I do want to say that even though this individual officer was rude and genuinely uninterested, I still don't completely blame him. I blame Mark Rowley, Sadiq Khan, and our painfully weak politicians. In my view, Mark Rowley should get the sack. He's an absolute disgrace. Every single week, these marches get worse, and there is a reason for that. The Met have mostly stood by and done nothing. They've directly empowered the mob, and they think they're untouchable, and effectively they are. This is why we're seeing an increase in these horrific incidents. But this wasn't the only incident I saw this weekend. I'm sure anyone watching the marches would have seen the same thing. There was open support for Hamas, open chanting for genocide, chanting. I actually saw a young child chanting in support of Houthi terrorists. There was a protester wearing full military gear, holding a riot shield, a plethora of anti-Semitic placards. And it is just a disgrace. The police have lost control of the streets and they are scared. They do not know what they're doing.
I have a slightly different interpretation. I agree with everything apart from the last comment. I think they've lost control of their narrative. I think they don't know what they're supposed to be doing anymore. It seems to me the great offender in this thing is Sadiq Khan, who is technically responsible for the police, and he blames the police. It's like unbelievable to me, his lack of personal responsibility for a Metropolitan Police Authority has never been more besmirched in its entire existence. And I think there's another example of this. When Black Lives Matter was parading and prancing around in central London, breaking every one of these fatuous COVID restrictions, the police just let them get on with it. But then when those who were concerned about the COVID lockdown and the jabs, which I loathe now because I got an injury myself from them, when they were demonstrating, they came down on them like a ton of bricks. The police have completely belied their impartiality, it seems to me. And to me, that's the crime here.
I agree, and it's political as well. I mean, the other thing that I found striking from looking on social media this weekend is if you look around the world, almost every other police force deal with these marches better than our own police. I mean, the French don't mess about, as we know. They took a hard line right from the off, and they ban these marches, and they robustly police anyone that takes part. I mean, even the Canadian police, I was really surprised by this one. The Canadian police in Toronto were filmed dealing with these protests way more robustly than our pathetic police. It just feels like we're a global embarrassment.